Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today I want to talk about the PS5, and more specifically, rumoured titles that we'll be seeing on the next generation system. Of course, if you guys have been following the news, then you'll know that tomorrow is Sony's event. Finally, they are talking. It's been pretty quiet up until this point. You know, it's kind of weird to sort of think that there are two new consoles coming out this year, and all the news up until this point has largely speaking been tech focused. We haven't actually seen pretty much any gameplay, so finally tomorrow is quoted as the future of gaming. Rather exciting. I sincerely hope that PlayStation actually show some gameplay this time and don't just do another showcase of loads of CG trailers. But linked in with that, there of course have been some leaks recently and some rumours going around. Apparently a screenshot went out of the upcoming printed PlayStation magazine, which lists a load of new titles that will supposedly be revealed for this game. So today I want to talk about 10 incredibly exciting rumoured titles that we may well be seeing on the PlayStation 5. So if you guys do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your most anticipated game? What are you really hoping to see tomorrow? What is the one thing that if you saw it, you would be like, yep, you know what, doesn't matter, day one, I've got the PS5, I'm getting it because that is my game. Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if you don't want to miss any of the PlayStation news, then be sure to turn on those notifications. Now, starting off at number 1, Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I do kind of wonder, if Horizon Zero Dawn 1 was called Horizon Zero Dawn, would you kind of call it Horizon 2 Dawn? Horizon 1 Dawn? Anyway, sorry, I digress. It's been over 3 years since Guerrilla Games last released their game, 2017, and with the PlayStation 5 around the corner, Horizon Zero Dawn 2 would make for a pretty incredible launch title. Quite whether we would see it in the launch window remains to be seen, but if they were to, you know, come out the gate with something like that, that would be an incredibly strong contender. The rumours we have so far for Horizon Zero Dawn 2 suggest that it may well include some kind of co-op mechanic. Quite how that will play out, we don't yet know, but being able to explore that world with a co-op companion, and honestly the way that you can kind of engage in the huge fights and things like that, kind of reminiscent of Monster Hunter in certain degrees. Honestly, I would love to play that game in co-op. I imagine there would obviously still be the ability to play it solo, but having that as an additional option would definitely be pretty exciting. And of course, you know, continuing on with the story, finding out where it goes next, all of that is definitely something that I cannot wait to find out more about, but as it currently exists, not a great deal more is known. However, it is strongly suggested, strongly hinted that we may well be seeing our first look at it, maybe just a trailer, but tomorrow could be the beginning. Moving on from there to Spider-Man 2. Of course, with Marvel Spider-Man releasing 2 years ago now, 2018, I remember the E3 for that one. That was incredibly exciting, be able to sort of be there and check out Spider-Man then. Obviously, that was a massive hit, super awesome game. Insomniac did a great job recreating that world. So many kind of awesome combat elements to it. It was a very sort of true Spider-Man experience. So again, given how successful it was, it's pretty likely that we may well see a future title for PS5. In fact, there was obviously that statement a little while ago from someone on, I believe it was the Kind of Funny podcast, who sort of mentioned that there was, you know, they knew some stuff and that it may well be that we see things sooner than we may expect. So, you know, there are a few sort of hints there. And the rumoured title for Spider-Man 2 is supposedly Symbiote's Menace. And the speculation is that there would be multiple characters playable, including obviously Spider-Man, but also Miles Morales, Daredevil, and even Venom, which would be so cool. I like Venom, cool character. So having that in the game, like in that big open sandbox environment, that would be sweet. It's also said, again, keep in mind rumours and whatnot, everything in this video, to be clear, is until something is officially confirmed, until we get that official trailer from the publisher or the developer or from Sony, then, you know, all of this, take it with a pinch of salt. But the rumours, you know, some of them are slightly more credible than others. Rumour is that this will also have a full day-night cycle, weather cycles, and even co-op for free roam and side missions. So, lots of cool things. Moving on from there to number 3, Demon's Souls, of course. This is, you know, this is the game that kick-started the Soulsborne franchise, so to speak. I know a lot of people kind of want a Bloodborne remake, but Demon's Souls, of course, is the other incredibly important, significant title. Originally, this was a Sony exclusive back on the PS3 in 2009, and there are rumours that there's going to be a full-scale remake for the PlayStation 5, which would be amazing. I mean, having a Soulsborne game, keep in mind, we obviously know that there is Elden Ring in development as well, so there's obviously, you know, a couple of different titles from there, but having a Demon's Souls reboot on PS5, next-gen graphics, updated gameplay, you know, that would make for an incredible experience, especially when you consider that Elden Ring, from everything we've seen so far, or everything we haven't seen, should I say, I get the impression that may well be a little bit further out. So if they could drop Demon's Souls as something to sort of fill the gap between that and Elden Ring, that would be so cool. Next up on the list, we have a Jak and Daxter rumour. Now, keep in mind, obviously right now Naughty Dog are pretty busy with The Last of Us, but given that the game is pretty much done now, or is done, you know, it's coming out this month, then it's fair to say that the team are going to be hard at work at other things. Also, keep in mind it's not the first time many developers do this. They have different teams on different projects, and Naughty Dog, while you may know them more so for things like Last of Us or Uncharted, they're also the studio behind Jak and Daxter. And while I'll admit I'm not personally someone that has a huge history with Jak and Daxter, it of course is one of those franchises that we haven't heard from for quite some time. So if they were to bring that back and reboot it again for the PlayStation 5, it would definitely be pretty awesome. Like, anytime a company can kind of sort of dive back into their back catalogue and bring back an IP we haven't heard from or seen from for quite some time, it's always nice to see it with that sort of modern spin on it, so that is a potential. Of course, one for the car fans out there, next up we have Gran Turismo. This is kind of a given, the sort of staple for the PlayStation franchise. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Gran Turismo fan. I kind of prefer my races to be slightly more arcadey, slightly more over the top. I'm not a huge sim racing fan. However, I do appreciate the significance that Gran Turismo holds in the racing space, the racing genre, the sim racing genre. And there are rumours of a Gran Turismo Sport Redux of the original games from 2017. The only details right now are, of course, that it's going to be 4K and 60 FPS. However, there have also been rumours of Gran Turismo 7. So it may well be, again, one of the situations where you kind of get the remaster first to fill the gap, and then later on you get 7. There was an Instagram account called Next Level Racing, which typically makes official cockpits for driving simulation on Sony platforms, and they recently put up a post for their followers asking what titles they are most looking forward to in 2020. One of them was F1 2020, the other was Dirt 5, and they also had an image for Gran Turismo 7, an image that supposedly was just kind of a fan image, and they then followed up later on with a specific Instagram post saying that our team has recognised that a recent post by us using a logo has been misinterpreted by media and it does not reflect any information from our end, and we deny knowing any further information regarding the launch of GT7. Now, obviously that could just be one of those ones where, they just made their own image and it spun out of control, but it could also be one of those situations where they sort of quickly needed to pretend that they hadn't given anything official. So make of that what you will. Either way, GT7, it's kind of a given anyway, right? It's a staple for the PlayStation family. Racing games are a great way to showcase the power of the next generation. I imagine it's going to happen at some point. Moving on from there, we have Resident Evil 8. Rumours for this one are that it will have Chris Redfield as both an antagonist and a playable character. It's said to be first person this time, and quite a departure from the series in terms of the story and the enemies. And it's also said to be referenced as Revelations 3 internally, and seems to have quite a lot of people excited. Again, not much more is known from that one. So moving swiftly on to another related, well, I say related, I'm basically making a link here because they're both spooky games. They're not exactly spooky, but the point is, Silent Hill is the other one on the list. There have been several rumours going around about the possible continuation or a reboot of the game for the next generation PS5, and recently a Dead by Daylight crossover also has people pretty excited for a potential Silent Hill game as well. We know that Kojima is working on something kind of horror related for his next title. He kind of spoke a little while ago about how he kind of gets in the mindset for these kind of games, and he was revisiting some of those really sort of shock horror titles like movies and whatnot. So whether he will be the one revisiting that and kind of reprising that role, or whether it'll be picked up another way, will remain to be seen. But for the time being, that is another rumoured title. Now moving on from there, for the shooter fans, Battlefield 6. I know this one's going to be a pretty big one because in recent years, a lot of shooters have been going back to kind of older times to try and sort of relive some of those classic moments. But I think a lot of people, especially in the kind of shooter family, shooter sort of like space, so to speak, much prefer more modern combat, and that's supposedly going to be the rumoured theme for Battlefield 6. It's said that DICE's next shooter is going to be on the PS5, and it's focused on the future of Battlefield, and they'll be bringing players into 2021. This again has a lot of players excited for this. Typically, new Battlefield games tend to release every sort of 2 to 3 years, and with Battlefield 5 being released in 2018, 2021 makes for a pretty realistic launch window for Battlefield 6. Of course, on top of that, we have Dragon Age 4, which was first teased at the Game Awards 2018. However, at the time, it was still very much early in development stages. It has been 6 years since the last game of the series was released, which was Dragon Age Inquisition in 2014. So, fans are excited about the possibility and the rumours of Dragon Age 4 coming to next generation consoles. Of course, on previous Twitter posts and whatnot from people at BioWare, they're working on the title. They have dropped sort of hints and whatnot and suggestions that, things are being worked on. And given that it's been a while since they announced it, now being on the cusp of the new generation, it seems like a pretty good time to drop that trailer. So hopefully we see something for the Dragon Age fans tomorrow. And then finally, the last title is Starfield. This one, of course, from Bethesda is pretty exciting because, technically speaking, it would be the first new franchise in 25 years from Bethesda. You know, they obviously have a lot of existing franchises that people are very faithful to, that they have then continued to iterate on over the years, but this is their first foray into something completely and utterly new. Admittedly, this one is pretty light on information. We haven't had much outside of this trailer you have right here. It was of course already confirmed in 2018 E3 that there are sections of it that are very playable, but a lot of stuff was still very much in development. But again, it does line up quite nicely with this being both a next generation and cross-generation title, and many speculate again that this could be a launch title for the PS5, especially if it does end up being a cross-gen title. Then it would make sense to drop it, you know, on both previous generation, next generation in that launch window. So for something to kind of give you that space fix, potentially this could be one to get excited about. Anyway, that's it for the time being. Those are 10 titles we currently have rumoured that we may well be seeing in tomorrow's Sony presentation. So be sure to keep it locked, because as and when more things are announced, as and when we get gameplay, we're going to be covering all of that over on the channel. So if you don't want to miss all the latest stuff about PS5, make sure you turn on those notifications, make sure you stick around, and of course let me know in the comments down below what within that list gets you most excited. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, you can join the Arekkz Gaming Discord. We've got an awesome community over there with so many different channels for you to chat loads of different topics and different games. I'm in there, the team's in there. If you guys want to chat with us, find people to play with, it's just in general a great place to be. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our future uploads.